Pocast. We are the invaders of the cigar world. Cigar Kurt, the front porch cowboy, against the ginger grizzly bear with the super palate. Cigar Loons, invaders of the cigar world. Grumpy preacher, the conspiracy theory expert. Cigar Loons Podcast, come and join us. Vitola and proof expert on all things spirits. Tobacco G, Stitch director of special operations. Cigar Loons Podcast, we are the invaders of the cigar world. Cigar Kurt, the front porch cowboy, as the ginger grizzly bear with the super palate. Cigar Loons, invaders of the cigar world. Grumpy preacher, their conspiracy.
Well, would you look at that? It's just spinning.
Just in the nick of time.
Hello and good evening, and welcome, of course, to the Cigar Loons Podcast, live from England and America. And, of course, we have got a special guest tonight, and we've got, of course, the brand manager for Chillin Moose, we have, and his name's Joe. So he is here. And, of course, hello to everyone that's going to be watching. So, of course, hello to DEA, which, thanks for joining us, my brother, coming and watching. Of course, thanks to everyone on Rumble and also on Instagram. I nearly lost my marbles then. I can't remember where we stream. But yeah,
I'm not sure you ever found
everyone. Like I say, we are just waiting, of course, for Joe's camera to come on. But Joe is joining us, of course, tonight, and we're going to be talking, of course, about Chillin Moose, which we are just seeing a couple of technical issues from over on Joe's end, but he will be here. And of course, the guys are going to be smoking Chillin Moose. I couldn't get Chillin Moose in the UK because they're not available in the UK, but it's going to be a great time. It is, and thanks to everyone who joined us last week, of course, with the guests that we had last week. And thank you for taking the patience with us while we get stuff situated and stuff sorted. But yeah, Chillin Moose tonight, and you know something? I think with Chillin Moose, the band really sticks out to me. I absolutely love the band, and
I love the
that
Moose.
whole thing on the Moose and series. It's crazy. It's a different kind of band, and it sticks out. Even with just Chillin Moose on it, it really sticks out. And it looks like we're having some really big technical issues from Joe's end. We are, because he's spinning again. And
Matthew, are you able? Matthew, are you able to email him your phone number? Maybe he can call you, see if we can help him.
Which, yeah, everyone's not getting all right. Do you?
Well,
like I say, we're just trying to.
He said he popped on. Yeah, I can send him my phone number.
Just trying to get everything situated, so of course we can get the guest on and talk to the guest tonight. Which technical issues, of course, weather and different things, it doesn't help, and it's crazy. But hopefully we can, of course, get it situated. But yeah, so of course everyone's having a great time. Of course, Kate's inside tonight, and weather's, of course, bad in the United States for everybody. So keep safe, keep warm out there. I know it's a crazy old night, the weather and the snow coming in, different things. And of course, what did everybody do yesterday for, of course, Mr. President Donald Trump getting in yesterday? Did you watch, of course, him getting inaugurated? Did you watch it yesterday, or didn't you catch any of it? I caught about 10 minutes out on one of the news channels yesterday, and you know something, he had a lot of celebrities there in the background. He did. But what did you guys do yesterday? Did you watch it, or what did you do?
I was at work, but I did watch a little bit of it, quite a bit of it actually. So,
Okay. What about you, Matthew? Did you watch Mr. Trump gaining yesterday?
I watched some video clips and stuff like that. I didn't spend much time with it. I busy at work, so.
Yeah. What about you, Grump?
I'm proud to say I watched it all, and I didn't watch all of it, but I did watch. The ceremonies, him speaking. What we should be looking
Cigars
for and
Unlimited.
expect. Yeah, I watched all that.
So,
Hey,
of
Joe,
course,
how's it
we
going?
are having some issues. Yeah, which
I
tell you what, if
hopefully Matthew can get sorted.
the best part was when he gave like that first speech.
Yeah.
And was talking about how good he's going to make things and how bad things were. and both of them had to sit right behind him and listen to that speech. It was, man, that was, and I mean, he didn't call nobody by names. He didn't specify and point, you did this or you did that. It's like, we're going to move away from this and go this way. This is what we're going to do. This has been messed up. We're going to straighten this out. I mean, the whole thing, it was ripping them, for the bad job they did. But, it was a good speech, though. It really was. It wasn't. I don't really think it was the Trump that a lot of people expected to hear. I don't think that was I don't think they got what they were expecting, because he didn't go off on any tirades. He didn't go off on any, I'm going to get you. He didn't do none of that. He just said, we're going to move forward.
His best behavior.
Yeah. Uh-huh.
Which, of course, just bear with us, everyone. We are trying to get sorted with, of course, Joe, the guest from Chillin Moose, which Matthew's just talking to him at the moment to get all situated so we can game on with us. So please bear with us. We are just, of course, having some technical issues tonight with the guest, so we will game on. But of course, Grump, how many times have you managed to, of course, smoke Chillin Moose and get around to having Chillin Moose and trying it? Because, like I say, I saw the brand probably about 2 years ago and saw the bands coming out and thought, oh, that's interesting, and asked around if we could get in the UK, and we couldn't get in the UK. So, but yeah. But how many times have you tried it, bro?
Well, I've been through the lineup, and the first Chillin Moose, the original Chillin Moose, because I'm having the Chillin Moose 2 tonight, because this one is my favorite of the two Chillin Moose. The first one, it just didn't really hit my palate. I've had the Shady Moose. It's not bad for Connecticut. It's very good Connecticut. Then I can't think of there's one that's got the black.
You got the Bull Moose Maduro. You got the Bull Moose Maduro.
Bull Moose.
Thank you as well. Yeah.
Bull Moose Maduro, did you say?
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've had
Bull Moose.
Yeah, I've had that one, and I've enjoyed every one of them except for that very first, the original Chillin Moose. There was just something about it that just didn't hit my palate right, and I don't know. I can't put a finger on it, but
yeah,
I've liked every one of the rest of them.
Yeah, can't wait until, of course, we get this sorted. And Matthew, like I say, is trying to sort the guests now. If we get Joe on, of course, we can talk to Joe about the whole thing with Chillin Moose and how, of course, the company started to where the company is now. Different things. But Kurt, have you smoked any of the Chillin Mooses? And have you enjoyed them, my brother?
It's been a long time. I think I smoked the original one, but that's it. Hey, there we are. Hey, Joe.
Hey.
Well, our tech.
There we go.
Hey, Joe, you're right.
We got you.
said bear with us, and we got it sorted. So what I'm going to do?
You're in trouble now.
Of course, Joe. I'm Gaz from England. So nice to meet you, brother. Welcome, of course, to the Cigar Loons podcast. But I'm going to hand it over to my American brother, Mr. Vital, and proof for some of you. I'll hand it over to you.
Nice.
Right on. Joe, thank you so much for being here. I'm the Matthew you just spoke to. We wanted to know a little bit about the brand. I know they have you guys have four different blends: the Chillin Moose, the Chillin Moose 2, the Shady Moose, and the Bull Moose. First off, I guess, can you tell us a little bit about the history of Chillin Moose cigars? Why you guys decided to make a more affordable cigar rather than go for a super premium blend?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, first off, thanks for having me. Very very excited to talk about this brand. It's not one that's at the forefront very often, which is a shame because it's a great cigar. It's one of these that's a serious value for your money. So I mean, the cigar has its roots, and granted, I have not been, this predates my time at General Cigar a little bit, but the cigar's got its roots, 10 or so years ago, back in the Foundry days. I don't know if you guys remember any of those cigars, but that was when we were taking a really kind of creative, off the wall approach to stuff. Some of those cigars are really interesting, and this is the only one that is still around. And Chillin Moose, why is it called Chillin Moose? That's a fantastic question. There are theories as to how it got its name, but it's one of those things, as folks move around and work on different things, even people that were there at the time are like, I'm not quite sure. But the kind of slogan we use sometime, why a moose? Because he's there. And why is he chilling? Because he's got a great cigar and he didn't spend too much money for it. So I mean, fundamentally what we wanted to do, we wanted to come out with a really good cigar, no frills. The band is not on the most expensive paper stock in the world. The box is very simple and straightforward, but it's a really solid stick, and so that's kind of the emphasis on this. We cut some of the frills, which are great on some cigars. Got kind of strategic as to which tobaccos we use, because some tobaccos are more expensive than others. But price does not necessarily correlate to quality all the time. So we kind of set out and said, all right, within a certain set of parameters, using these tobaccos, what can we do? Like, well, we can actually come to market with a really cool, affordable Nicaraguan smoking experience. So that's what these are. I mean, Chillin Moose and Chillin Moose 2 both make really nice use of some fuller bodied Nicaraguan tobaccos. So those were out in the market for a while, kind of did their thing. And then we came out with Bull Moose because we found that the guys that are smoking these cigars, and generally guys that really appreciate good value for money, they tend to like a big stick. They're like, hey, I'm getting a 770 in some cases, and I'm getting a good deal on it. This is awesome. So Bull Moose was a line completely focused on those. That's done really well for us. And then finally we came out with Shady Moose, because Chillin Moose and Chillin Moose 2, as you guys confirm, is on the medium to full side, depending on the blend. So a lot of the market is still shade cigars, and so we were like, let's kind of do the same thing. Let's look at what tobaccos we can work with within these parameters and come out with a blend that's really solid. I love Shady Moose. That's kind of how we arrived at that, and I don't think that's just good for the money. I think that's good, period. I mean, it's a really nice first cigar of the day. So yeah, I've spoken too long already, but that's that's kind of the 30,000 foot view of the brand.
Oh, that's great. Thank you. The Shady Moose is the one I haven't tried yet. I've smoked plenty of regular Chillin Moose and Chillin Moose 2. Chillin Moose 2 is my more go-to than the regular Chillin Moose, but I like both. I think it's one of the better cigars you can get for $4 or thereabouts. You know what I mean? So I really enjoy it. I had posted a picture, and then your social media person reached out to me and asked me if they could use the picture, and I said, yeah, absolutely. Actually, we do a podcast. You want to get me into contact with whoever you know, and that's how this happened. So it's pretty great. I definitely enjoy your guys' cigars, and they're kind of always in my humidor for those days where I'm like, you know what? I don't need to smoke something super fancy. I just need a cigar. Now, I am big on pairings and things like that. I like a lot of cigars with coffee. I like a lot of cigars with bourbon. I decided to go with a budget bourbon tonight. Early times. What is a good pairing that you like to pull out when you have one of your cigars?
I think you sort of nailed it with Chillin Moose and Chillin Moose 2. Excuse me. So I mean, like I said, some of those tobaccos have got some real character, and there's a little bit of spice. There's some definition. So you need a drink, in my opinion, that can stand up to that and kind of perform. And so yeah, I think bourbon's great. Early times is great. That's not one I hear about often enough. I kind of like I like something a little higher proof with one of these, like Old Grandad 14s, or sorry, Old Grandad 114 is really good. We get a lot of pictures though of guys enjoying it with like a stout or a porter, which I haven't done, but that makes a lot of sense if you're going the beer route, something a little darker. And then I mean, Shady Moose is great with coffee. It's a lighter cigar, so it's good with just about anything. But yeah, I think you've got the right idea with the early times. What's just out of curiosity, what's everybody else pairing, or if anything, with the cigars?
I like my old fashions. I'm classic old fashioned. I love to mix up an old fashioned, and it goes with about anything. So with bourbon, good bourbon.
There you go.
Grump, what are you drinking today?
I'm trying a new whiskey that I've picked up today, and it's called the Sexton, and it's of course a single malt Irish whiskey, and nice little fancy bottle, and of course it's got a skeleton with a top hat on. And with us being Cigar Loons and skeletons, I thought, you know what, I might as well get it because I'm a big skeleton fan, and it's got that nice little fiery kick at the back, and I like a nice little bit of fiery kick. And it's made in a copper cask, and then it's moved over to sherry casks, and it's made by Bushmills. And I'm not a big fan of Bushmills, but you know something, this, I got to say, it's nice, and it goes well with a cigar. It's not killing the cigar whatsoever, and I'll drink it now and again with a cigar, especially like craft beers. I'm not a big stout fan, but we always try different things. And of course, with Matthew's mainly, I'm a bourbon expert. He'll tell us that little bits of different ones to get. And if I can get in the UK, then I'll get in the UK and try it. When I wake up with an headache in the morning, I'm like, Matthew, why did you tell me to drink that one?
That's not my fault. I say to try it, don't drink half the bottle, sir.
But that's what happens if you try it and like
Grumpy,
it, right?
well, that's true. That's true. You gotta be careful. Grumpy, are you drinking coffee? I almost assume you're drinking coffee.
Well, this was one time when assumption did not make you look bad. Coffee and good old soda. I prefer Dr. Pepper But soda or coffee's about
Understood. I
now.
have
Like you said, with this something like this this Chillin Moose 2, it would be excellent with a Guinness Stout.
Yeah, absolutely. Anything
It
that's got
would.
some body. Yeah,
It
I
would.
completely agree. I've always wondered, the number of cigars in the country that are smoked with soda, though, because you never hear anybody talk about pairing a cigar with a soft drink, but I see it all the time in cigar shops and lounges and stuff. So
Oh yeah.
Well, that's like with the Dr. Pepper. You look at the blend of a Dr. Pepper. How many different flavors were used to blend that drink? And a lot of times, those
22?
drinks like a Dr. Pepper or Mr. Pibb, something like that, sometimes that will, actually accent a note that you may not pull out. It may accent something in there that you didn't catch. So I like pairing with Dr. Pepper myself.
yeah,
I like Dr. Pepper. I even occasionally like a root beer with a cigar.
Right back.
Good combinations for sure. Now, I know you're sort of new to Chillin Moose. So, do you want to give us some history of you? Where were you before now? What route did you take to get here?
Absolutely. So, I was in marketing. I was working for an office products company, and I'll tell you what, working for an office products company is about as much fun as it sounds. Which is to say, right. I mean, nobody gets that excited about a ballpoint pen. Even, you use them all the time. You use office products, but no one's eyes light up. And so, at the same time, I love cigars. I've always loved cigars. On my lunch breaks, I was going to a cigar shop, and hanging out there for an hour. So I'm sitting there like, I got to do something else. This is getting old. And this is about 2.5 years ago. And so then I was on Indeed and I saw this job posted, Scandinavian Tobacco Group, General Cigar. And I was like, that sounds great. I was like, oh my gosh, these are guys that do Macanudo and Cohiba, CAO, like some serious brands. And this sounds like a dream come true. And so I applied thinking like, there's no way they'll call me back. And then they had me in for an interview, and I got to have a cigar in the interview. And I was thinking like, well, there's no way they hire me. There's got to be some guy that's better qualified and, all that. But it was pretty cool that I got to smoke a cigar in a job interview, and then to my surprise, they extended the offer. So, I guess I passed the test, but my family, it's not directly a cigar connection, but my family grew tobacco in Virginia for, a couple hundred years. So it's funny. I get this job and I'm talking to my family, and my grandmother, who grew up around the tobacco fields and everything, she's 96. She was thrilled. She's getting up there in years, but when a young man says, I'm gonna work with tobacco, she can understand that, and kind of wraps her head around it. So, anyway, that's random little anecdote, but that's kind of how I got on board. And I've been here about 2.5 years, and it's been a dream come true. Just getting to spend time in the factories, getting to get out in the market, go to cigar shops. Everybody thinks they understand a cigar shop, and you probably do, but have you ever been to a cigar shop across the country? How is it different? So just getting to learn the industry has been incredible. And, like I said, now I've been here about 2.5 years, and I got Chillin Moose at the end of last year. So, relatively new to it, but, it's a really cool one. And it's one I feel really good about. In managing Chillin Moose and working on those products, I'm I get to deliver people a really good value. Like it's a good cigar for a very approachable price, and yeah, so it's a brand I really enjoy working on and feel really good about.
Awesome. So I got one more question for you, and I don't know if it'll be one you can answer, but I'll throw it out there anyway. Anything new coming from Chillin Moose this year?
Yes is the answer. We haven't put the press release out yet, so it's one of these things. You know, you gotta. I'll get in a little trouble if I get too specific, but
Yeah.
just say we can look forward to some very popular sizes that haven't been out and now will be, and you can make of that what you will, and should be dropping in a couple weeks, but that's you know, if you like one of the blends but you're thinking, man, they don't have it in my size, well, you might soon be in luck.
Well, I think
All right.
well, I think I'm hoping I know what you're talking about, so that would be cool. So we get in trouble if I guess it right on here?
I think I'll only get in trouble if you guess it right and I tell you that you were right. But
okay, so never mind. I'll email you later about that. We won't put it out there today. But awesome. Thank you for that. I'm going to send it up to or over or down. We'll go to Grumpy. You can ask your question of him.
Why you won't come down here in my house? Snowing. I'm glad you're here. Appreciate it. Glad he could get you worked out to get your camera working.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Yeah, it's all right. No problem. We're used to things happening. It's kind of our nature. It wouldn't be right if we had a smooth sail. But I mean, I know you said you got to enjoy a cigar during your interview, but I mean, are you a regular partaker yourself, or you know, did you fall into this job outside of being, a regular cigar smoker?
No, I love it. No, I absolutely love cigars, and you know, I think this would be a really difficult job if you didn't, you know, because it's not a normal, you know, consumer good. It's not like dog food or laundry detergent or something like that, where you can conduct a bunch of research and figure out what somebody might want. I mean, if you don't like cigars, you're going to get it way wrong. You know, you're going to have, you know, you're going to get the wrong idea. And, you know, if you haven't been in cigar shops and smoked them yourself and then talked to other people about them, like it's a weird industry in a great way, but you know, it's not one that you can just kind of read a report or something like that. So, you know, I'm a cigar smoker. Everybody else that I work with is, you know, so there's if anyone's got the impression that over at General we're just a bunch of you know, stuffed shirts, it's not the case. You know, we've got conference rooms with ashtrays, cutters, and lighters, and a big humidor, and we make pretty good use of it. So
I hear you. Good deal.
Awesome.
Okay, leads to my next one, and I don't have a list, so you know, I just got another question. Outside of Chillin Moose, what is your favorite stick to just sit back and chill and just relax and enjoy outside of the Chillin Moose brand?
You know, one of my favorites is and it's another one that you know, we make and oversee, but one of my very favorites is Diesel Vintage Natural. I don't know, have you guys gotten to try that yet?
I haven't had that one. Had a lot of the other diesels, but I haven't had that one.
That's a really nice one. That one came out last year. The Maduro came out the year before that, but I mean, Vintage Natural is really nice. AJ Fernandez, we make it in this 6x46.
Fanboy.
Yeah, that's
Fanboy.
I'm a fanboy of anything. So,
That's good.
yeah, I have a whole Tupperware over here filled entirely with uncuts.
Nice. There you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Those are my go-tos.
Yeah, that's a great cigar. I mean, like just a solid Nicaraguan. Really, really nice. Another one I'm a fan of. It's another one in our portfolio, but in the morning with a cup of coffee, Partagas Cortado, really hard to beat. If you like a shade, that's a really nice one. Another one, Punch Golden Era. That's really nice. It's a punch, but it's made by Aladino. Really good. A bunch of really cool Corojo tobacco in that. Yeah. And then the stuff that we don't, from outside of the general portfolio, I love a late hour, Davidoff, Winston Churchill, if I can come off the money for it. We smoke all sorts of stuff. It's the other thing, right. So I try to keep abreast of what's going on. I think product research is probably the best part of the job. So.
Oh yeah, evidently, gotta be. Well, yeah. I mean, I do appreciate the honesty and the answers, man. Like I said, I didn't really compile a big old list of questions because we've been doing some snow prep down here. Not every day you get it in Florida Panhandle, so yeah, I've been busy.
Hold on, so I'm in Virginia. It's cold as the devil, but we're not getting any snow. You get snow in the Florida Panhandle?
Hey, it's snowing its butt off down here. They had blizzard warnings.
Oh my God!
Blizzard warnings over in central Louisiana, man.
Dag, really? How much snow are they?
Hey, we could get 5. They said that before this is over, if things don't change, we could get 4 to 6 inches here in the area where I'm at. And I'm 1 hour north of Panama City Beach.
Damn.
And I'm about 30 minutes south of Dothan, Alabama. So you can kind of coordinate where that's at right there. I'm up here in Farmville, man. They ain't seen a snow like this since I think 89 or something like that. Yeah. And I left Tennessee 6 years ago to come down here and get away from stuff like that.
This time of year, I think about leaving Virginia and going down there to get. So maybe I ought to stay put.
Don't come now. But I do. I appreciate you being here, and I think it's awesome, man. Because I mean, I'm an old guy, but you look like a very young man. You're in an awesome position as far as my looking at it. I'd love to be, somewhat involved in that cigar industry like that. So kudos to you there, and just keep doing what you're doing, man. I mean, I'm gonna pass it up there to Kurt because I know him, and between him and Gaz, they're gonna like short circuit your brain, but you'll live through it.
I don't know if I have a lot left up there.
Well, I appreciate it, man.
Joe, thank you for being here. We've been looking forward to this. Again, I apologize for not smoking tonight. Normally, I am the one out on the porch in the low temperatures with my heater, my electric blankie, but I just can't do it tonight. I'm up here in the Blue Ridge Mountains in North Georgia, and presently it's 13, and we're going down to 5 tonight. I told the fellas, I said, I just can't do it tonight, guys.
No.
So, but I will. I'm going to sit here, and I've got some Colt Red Blood Moon pipe tobacco from the Scandinavian Tobacco Company, so I'm just going to sit here and sniff that. So
I like it.
Get you fixed one way or another.
Good tie-in. Good tie-in.
I guess before I have a question, I just have a comment because we've talked about this before. The amount of cigars that all of us smoke, and we're probably a little bit more above average as far as the everyday cigar smoker. You know, Gaz over there, if he had them, he'd smoke 9 a day. But so a lot of us, you know, on the weekend, we're smoking more than one cigar a day. And you unless you're made of money, you have to have that cigar that's going to be
Yeah.
economical for you. So I definitely, I think there's a market for this, and obviously there is, because I mean they're still around, but there's a lot of brands that do that, and I think that it's a smart way to go. So my question is, I think it was back in 2021, I had heard that the Chillin Moose brand was going to be discontinued. Was that before you guys picked them up, or did you hear about that or remember anything about that?
No, I mean, so I I came on in 2022.
Okay.
But yeah, I don't know. I mean, I've got as far as I know, I would have to chalk that one up maybe to the rumor mill, or maybe,
Yeah, maybe.
I mean, and we will occasionally we'll trim down sizes that don't perform and stuff like that, and like we so every time we cut something, we get phone calls and emails like, you're cutting this. It's like, no, we're just cutting this, like the Lancero doesn't sell, we're not cutting every size, like, so
Right.
like another brand I manage is called Boulevard, and
Another nice one.
oh yeah, absolutely. We had this old blend that was in a wrap set box, and really, really fallen off. I think around the country it was in under 50 stores, which for us is pretty small. And so we kind of trimmed that, and not to give too much away, but in the future we will come out with something that's kind of an updated blend that kind of does what that did. But I like when we cut that, people thought we were cutting the whole brand. They thought we were cutting Boulevard Cofradia, Gran Republica. So if I had to guess, that's probably kind of how that happened.
Okay. Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, Chillin Moose does well for us. So I don't think we're at any risk of getting rid of it.
Right.
It
All
was
right, and
it
you-
was a rumor that was getting around, Kate, and you know something. The rumor was getting around because Cigar International were the ones that were mentioning it. The Cigar Lounge International was saying this, they couldn't get the cigars no more, and basically when they were asking, it was being told to a lot of cigar lounges, once the cigars are gone, the cigars are gone. And we've been hearing it pop up for 2 years, roughly, as it was popping up. And, of course, we've been talking about it. And this is, of course, why Kate brought it up. Well, originally, it started from Cigar Lounge International, as we were hearing this coming.
Got it.
Yeah, I didn't know where
Maybe.
I heard it from, but I remember hearing it. So, all
Maybe-
right. Well, we'll
maybe.
put that to rest. You guys are alive and well.
Yeah, rest assured, we're not going anywhere.
Yeah, I'll leave my sinister guess out of the way here. Y'all are doing good.
Yeah, Grumpy is our resident conspiracy theory expert. So,
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
You got to have
My-
one.
There's a theory to
Yeah.
be capped.
yeah.
Gotta have one.
My next question is, you had mentioned that you got to travel to some of the factories and farms. I guess just tell us where you've been and what that I'm sure that was you new to the tobacco industry. That's got to be a huge undertaking for you, and really neat to see how all it works.
Absolutely. That was really cool. I mean, the first time we went down to General Cigar Dominicana. That's our factory down in the DR, and it was incredible. And they do what's called Cigar 101. So they take you through the whole process of rolling cigars, and then while you're you do your bunching, put them in the binder, put them in the molds. While they're in the molds, you go and tour the factory, and so you go into the room where they're processing leaves and it smells like ammonia. You go in the room where they're aging leaves, it smells like raisins. Like, just as a sensory experience, like, it is hard to beat.
Right.
It is. I mean, it's being down there is really special. And if you ever get the chance, I mean, it for me, before I started with the company, it was a bucket list item. And they also did really cool, we were doing a blend session, and, we work with guys down there, and we'll kind of, obviously we're up in Richmond, so we're not in the factory all the time, but a couple times a year we try to get down and say, all right, I want to do a leaf of Olor, a leaf of San Andreas, a leaf of this binder, this wrapper. Let's try it. And you get on there, you smoke fumas, you smoke leaves on their own. And then, they kind of put that together, and in real time at the end of the day, like, voila, there's what you wanted to try. And sometimes you're onto something, and sometimes it's like, all right, that wasn't as good as I thought it was going to be, but
Let's try again.
Having the real-time feedback is cool. And if you don't mind, I'm going to get up for a second and show you guys. I've got the box that I rolled myself. And
Okay. Yeah.
so I'll be right back.
That's cool.
Cool. Well, like
Welcome
I say,
back,
I will
guys.
just quickly pop in and say hello to everyone, of course, on Instagram. And I, of course, to AJ Cigar Guy, which is Andrew, so thank you for watching us. And to everyone else who, of course, is watching, like Boss Dog Cigars, of course. We've got the likes of HDA Cigars. Thank you to everyone who's watching us on YouTube. And also thank you to everyone that's watching us on rumble.com. And, of course, we are talking about Chillin Moose, but I'll pass it back up, of course, towards Joe.
Yeah, so this is one of my prized possessions. It's a 10-count box of Hampton Court Macanudo Cafes, and they put your name on it, and you roll them, you bunch them, put the wrapper on, then you go to put the band on, you stick them in cellophane, you put the guarantee seal on the corner of the box. It was insane. It was really, really cool. And I've smoked one, and believe it or not, it was smokable. I did not trust my bunch of tobacco in such a way that you actually draw air through it. But it was like, hey, so far so good. So these are very special to me. So
Very cool. Very cool.
Yeah.
Good cigar you rolled too. I mean, good. I like them.
Yeah.
I like them.
So if you ever get a bad one, you can blame me. That's probably
Joe Matt rolled it. I know he did.
not that you would get a bad one, but
That's funny.
Absolutely wonderful. I know that process amazes me, and we've spoke to and this is before your time with General Cigar, but a good friend of our podcast is Ricky Rodriguez, who went on to start West Tampa, but he was with General, and he tells the stories of his time there, and just an amazing stories of the process. And so there's that you will be able to do that. Props to you. So awesome. So
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm going to go ahead and pass it on down to our resident grizzly bear down there, Gaz, over there in the UK. I'm sure he's got some stuff for you to.
Yeah. So, of course, welcome, Joe. And I'm going to take my time with you. I will take my time with you, my brother, because they always seem to leave me till last because I bring out some of the auditing questions. And I don't mean anything by it. It's just I like this information because I'm in England. I can't try most cigars. But one of the cigars I really enjoyed, and of course I know you mentioned Diesel, was a very rare cigar that's not out no more, and it was the Diesel Delirium. And I absolutely love that cigar when I tried it. And we're talking really old school cigar that I've been sitting. The aging on it was crazy on that cigar. But Matthew was a little bit jealous when he saw it because I smoked it and he couldn't get one. But yeah. But the whole thing, of course, General and Scandinavian, of course, you look at the company as a whole and the amount of different cigars, like, of course, CAO, of course, Chillin Moose, Alec Bradley, and different ones that now they own. How do you reckon there's the whole cigar market's going when you look at how General is in Scandinavian they own most of the pipe tobacco industry now, and they also own most of the cigar industry coming. How do you reckon, on a whole, the cigar industry's doing? Do you reckon you've saved a lot of brands that could have disappeared, or do you reckon on a whole, it's just one of them kind of things? What do you reckon?
Yeah, I mean, so you're asking about the sort of the overall kind of strength of the industry, or the
Yep.
Yeah, I mean, it's
Yep. Yeah, the overall strength.
yeah. I mean, I think the industry is pretty strong. We own a decent chunk of it, but there's a lot that we don't. That's sort of the other thing. And with acquisitions like Room 101, for instance, Matt Booth is still here. And so it's not like we bought Room 101, said thanks, see ya, and turned it into a corporate thing. I mean, Matt Booth still calls all the shots, but he's got our resources now, and can kind of use our sales guys to help with stuff, and so in that case, I think we very much empowered a brand, and really kind of put him in a even better spot to do the cool stuff he was doing. And then with Alec Bradley, Alan was getting up in years, Alan Rubin, but Alec and Bradley are both still here, and they're both still doing stuff. I mean, they are active in the brand, and so I think when we make an acquisition, we're pretty good about not killing the heart and soul of the thing. We are very careful to make sure that these brands, and what makes them special remains there. It would make no sense for us to buy them and do anything but that. So, but no, I think the industry on the whole is strong. One of the things you see, you read the the headlines about the economy and inflation and that kind of thing. I think you definitely see those trends reflected in the market, because I think cigar smokers are still smoking cigars, but they're thinking now about, that $15 cigar is more expensive in a way than it was a couple of years ago. Maybe maybe I don't have as much extra money lying around. Which is, times like these are why I'm really glad we've got Chillin Moose in the portfolio, because they're still great cigars, but they're approachable for a lot of folks, and they make sure that people aren't priced out of the hobby. I think
that's great.
In the industry, I think you see a lot of the economic trends mirrored, but I think there's still a great community of cigar enthusiasts that enjoy it, and I certainly don't think the hobby's going anywhere.
No, something that's great to find out. Of course, like Matt Booth's still working, of course, with Room 101, and the likes, of course, of the Bradley boys working there, still with you and supporting the brand, because something. I'd find it hard to give up a brand that we started and then sell it to like a big major company, and then to see either go on a downturn or on an upturn, and not just be there and just say, well, look, I want to try and blend this cigar. What do you reckon? And it's great you've still got that with you. And of course, I'm a big fan of Room 101, big fan of Alec Bradley. I do like the cigars. On to my next question. What do you reckon, of course, with the generational tobacco bans that are coming in, like in England, of course, Hawaii's now trying to do it, and also India, is they're going to raise the law on the age and put a generational ban. So basically, anyone under a certain age is never going to catch up with the year going up to their country. So over here, we're 18 at the moment, which will go up to 19 and then carry on every year going up. So anyone that's under the age will never be able to smoke cigars or cigarettes or vapes. And I get it on the vapes. I reckon the cigars should be put in a different category away from cigarettes, because as we know, most cigarettes are the big killers and the causes of cancer, not cigar smoking. And we've spoken to thoracic surgeons that we know. We've seen medical data that we know, of course, the different fights and lobbying in the states that we've seen. But yeah, like I say, what do you reckon of the generational cigar banning and basically putting that up every year, do you reckon it's a good thing? Do you reckon it's a bad thing? Do you reckon it's going to hit the States? Because I know certain places in the States are trying to bring it in, as I've seen in the news quite recently. What do you reckon it's going to do to the whole cigar market on a whole worldwide, basically?
Yeah, worldwide, that's tough to say. You know, I guess it depends. You know how many places do it, but you know, obviously, it's not something we're in favor of with with regard to cigars. I mean, you know, it's not really my place. You know, I'm not legislative affairs correspondent or something like that. But you know, we obviously we support the right of adults to enjoy our product. You know, make an informed choice, and you know, it's certainly interesting seeing it all over the place. But you know, I do think there are enough cigar smokers and enough folks who really care about it that I wonder in America the viability of something like that. You know, I think I've seen certainly in Florida. You know, there've been recently some public smoking measures that you know they come out and say, you know, hey, you can't smoke in public anymore, and then you know there's some folks get upset and kind of, you know, write in, and then I think in the most recent version of this bill I'm thinking of, cigars were exempted. You know, and I do think, yeah, again, I can only speak for America, but I think most people know that cigar is completely different than, you know, cigarettes or vapes. You know, it's not a habit, it's a hobby. You know, and that's a distinction that I do think a lot of folks are aware of. So, you know, if it's important to you, you know, and I know in the UK the political environment's quite a bit different, but you know, in the States at least, I can speak for you know, if it matters, let your representative know, you know, and you know, get out there and talk about it, you know, if it comes up, because it is surprising. But you know, I'm optimistic. I believe in you know, our kind of ability as a, you know, as a group of people like-minded about this thing to you know, kind of stand up and hopefully defend the right. So yeah, crazy times. I probably said.
Do you reckon there's yeah? But do you reckon then there's, of course, I know there's Scandinavian Tobacco General Cigars deal with Tor Imports in the UK. Of course, one of the biggest in the UK market. Do you reckon this Chillin Moose will finally come to the UK through Tor Importers, or do you reckon this Chillin Moose is just going to stay an American thing?
You know, I don't know. It's tough to say, because we have a hard time figuring out what has been done in the American market, excuse me, that will translate well to Europe and the UK and markets all over the country. So we've tried in the past. You know, we tried with diesel, and you know, diesel wasn't that well received. You know, it just sort of didn't translate across the pond. So I don't know. I mean, it's something, you know, we're always kind of looking at brands, kind of thinking about what might play well overseas. So I'll turn that question back on you. Would you like to see Chillin Moose? Do you think that would be something that
I would like to see, because we've seen the sale like of the Amazon Basin come to the UK. It's sold like wildfire to the point we can't get it anymore. And I heard through the grapevine we probably won't see the Amazon Basin ever coming back to the UK again, because it's sought after cigar, as we know. People in the States still can't get, of course, the Amazon Basin. They're very lucky if they find them, because it is a hard sought after cigar. And we enjoy different cigars. What we hate seeing here in the UK is when we're being dominated by the cigar reviews in the different publications. I'm not going to name them, And once they get the high ratings, as we say, that's when them cigars come to the UK. And we don't see like different cigar brands, say for instance, Chillin Moose, that yes, you got a fantastic cigar. Yes, it's a reasonable price cigar for everyone to get. We don't see that kind of it in the UK market. And sometimes I think it's to do with the importer that's bringing. They don't see the vision of, oh, look, it does well in the States. Let's give it a try in the UK or Europe, see how it does. If it does make us money, then bang, we're on for a winner. And I think it's very odd, but I'd love to see Chillin Moose at the UK because I can imagine just sitting with a Chillin Moose out in the woods and seeing the deer run past or the animals and just smoking a nice cigar or sitting in the garden with the dogs or even out in public, because when I've been out to different beer gardens and I've had a beer and I've been smoking a cigar, people have gone, "Ooh, what's that cigar?" And it's the band. The band sticks out when you look, of course, at the Shady, or you look at the normal Chillin Moose or the Chillin Moose 2, or, of course, the Bull Moose. The band sticks out. And when that band sticks out, people are going to go, "Well, where did you get that from? How do I get one?" It's a great sales thing. And sales is always the thing. And if an image sticks out, as we know, most people buy with their eyes. You don't just go in and go, "Oh, I'm going to pick their cigar up." It's the band that pops out. And I definitely think there's, to be a good winner over here if it came.
Well, hey, that's great to hear. I mean, so we can figure that out. You know, I haven't been on the brand that long, but we do talk with our international counterparts and kind of figure this stuff out. So you know, you guys, you may have just started something. I
Trust me, I normally start a lot of stuff over here in the UK, and you know something, it's paid off.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that's
It's
good.
normally
But no,
paid
I mean,
off.
and you know, you're exactly right about that band. Like there's no hiding that in a humidor. It's you're gonna notice
There
it's
isn't.
shitty.
You know something, when you look at social media, like Facebook, or you look at Instagram or different places, it slowly popped up on TikTok a couple of days ago where I saw, of course, someone smoking one of the Chillin Mooses. When you see it, a lot of people are smoking the brand and enjoying the brand. People that we know enjoy the brand. They enjoy the cigars. And they move away from the other cigars that are in that price range. And of course, we're not talking about price ranges or anything because we got banana last week for just even talking around that way. But we're not mentioning prices. And you know something, when that cigar, like the Chillin Moose, is in the same category as, say, for instance, a factory smoke. And we know factory smokes, they can be a bit lackluster. They can be good or they can be bad. But when people are picking up Chillin Moose non-stop, that just shows for the brand, there's people are enjoying that cigar more, and that's what they're going to go to. And this is the thing. And I definitely know a whole lot of people are enjoying. I just want to say, of course, hello to the Leaf Cutter gang. So I hope to our brothers from the Leaf Cutters. And people, if you don't know who the Leaf Cutters are, go and check them out on YouTube. They're great brothers of ours, and we will be going live with them in April. So we can't wait to be sitting down with the brothers of the Leaf. We can't, to smoking cigars with them. And this is the thing. You know something? I think having young blood as well into a business and how you've come in now, because I hope you don't mind me asking, but how old are you?
I am 27.
So young blood, basically really young blood into the business. Yeah.
He's a baby.
And this, you know something, we're seeing this where young blood, and I don't mean it horrible or anything, but seeing the younger audience come into the cigar market, it's having the drive, and when you've got the drive to do it, it means that it's going to be around for a long time, because as we know, we're losing a lot of the legends that are out there. They're slowly either stepping away or, of course, they're passing away. And to see a younger crowd take over, it's really good. But I know, of course, we're doing a little bit of digging and a bit of research. The whole thing about forged cigars. So can you tell us more about the whole forged cigar frontier as well? What's involved within the company?
Absolutely. So, you know, forged got to be a result of the breadth of our portfolio of brands. I mean, we had so many great brands, and when we have one of our reps in the in a shop, well, you don't have but so much patience as a retailer. You're hearing about Macanudo, Punch, Partagas, CAO, now Alec Bradley. And by the time we get to Chillin Moose, your eyes might have glazed over. It's it's that sort of thing. So we decided, we've got some great brands that are kind of starting to get overlooked here. So we need to split it up. And so with the Forged side of the business, we're able to take a little bit of a different approach, and so that has really suited brands like Room 101 really well, brands that play a little bit more offbeat, a little bit funnier, like we're able to do a little bit more of the boutique stuff with those guys. So that's really kind of what it is. We split our sales organization in two. Some of the brands went over there, and it's been really cool. I mean, because I came on right after Forged got up and running, and the first brand I got was Bolivar, and Bolivar was not a brand that got a lot of attention before, but we said, hey, this is a great classic brand, and we can really give some good attention to it now. So I came on at the beginning of what's been a really great period for us, where we're taking these brands that are great and had been on the back burner and giving them the attention they deserve. So Forged
that's great.
Awesome. Yeah,
that's great to hear. And like I say, I did do a little bit of research into it, but to hear it from yourself, it makes sense. And this is the thing, some companies do struggle, and to have that extra support and people to know about the brand and then have the brand, it's a great thing that, of course, is being put together. Now, I've got a couple of little other questions to ask you, and these ones are just fun questions, to be honest. But if you were to make a cigar, 3 blenders that you would like to make a cigar with.
Oh man. So you 3? That's what I got.
Yep. 3 blenders that you would like to make a cigar with.
Oh man. I mean, first and foremost, I'm a big fan of Eladio Diaz, and his work is just incredible. I mean, so I'm for the sake of answering this question, I'm kind of I'm not going to mention the guys I already get to work with, at General, who are great. I mean, Don Johnny's. I remember seeing. I don't know if you ever heard of Don Johnny's, but like seeing a picture of him in the box of the '97 Macanudo Vintage Maduro as a consumer, and then going to the DR for the first time and shaking his hand and having a cigar with him was surreal. That was a really cool experience. But so there's some great talent at General, but I mean, Eladio Diaz, on the work he did at Davidoff was incredible. The work he is doing now, kind of his own thing. I later this year, I'm sorry, I'm actually getting ahead of myself, but we've been kind of testing the waters with maybe doing a project with him. So I got to smoke some test blends recently of his that were just incredible. Cool. I mean, so refined, elegant. Gosh, and then beyond that, I'm a big fan of Ernesto Perez Carrillo. I mean, just out, and with La Gloria Cubana, we obviously kind of have a shared history, and again, first time I met him, really cool. And people forget about him. He was a drummer. I mean, so when a couple of times I've talked to him, we talk about music for half the time. He's a really cool guy. Gosh, and then I guess I only have one more. I would have to say Nick Melillo from Foundation.
Nick.
Yeah, the stuff he does with broadleaf is incredible. You know, I mean, broadleaf can be tough to nail and tough to work with, and you know, get it kind of powerful but refined kind of thing. And he works miracles with that tobacco. So, you know, shout out to Nick. I've never met him. Maybe at the trade show this year or something. I'll go shake his hand.
We haven't met Nick, but we have managed to sit down with Eduardo. He's of course national sales rep, and
Nice.
we had a great time with Eduardo. We did.
Yeah.
You know something? You've got to look at the ones you picked. Of course, straight away, EP Carrillo, Hall of Famer, straight away, Hall of Famer, and especially with what he's just brought out, of course, with Ricky, the Circle of Life, and that pairing together. You look, of course, at the other people that you mentioned. It's such a refined question because there's so many great blenders out there. And we thank you tonight, of course, for being on here, because we've had some really small boutique companies that people don't really know about, boutique companies that people do know about, some of the major companies like, of course, Laurel Tilly, of course, from AJ Fernandez we had on, and different ones. And we've had some really great chats. And I know, of course, you're new to the business, as say, especially for Chillin Moose. But answering the questions and answering what we've been asking, thank you. Now, the next question, it's another funny one. But if you were to smoke a cigar, you can only have 5 people at the party. And these 5 people can be alive or dead that you would like to sit and smoke a cigar with. So 5 people to smoke a cigar with. Live or dead can be from music, film, politicians, family, friends, you name it. It can be from anyone. But 5 people, alive or dead, that you like to smoke a cigar with.
That is tricky. I mean, instantly I go Winston Churchill. Just, you know, my interest in cigars aside, just a great man. I've always admired that wit. You know, Winston, you're drunk. Yes, madame, I am, but in the morning I'll be sober and you will still be ugly. So as far as dinner party guests, you know, can't beat him. And obviously, it's a cigar aficionado. He's second to none. You know, number 2 for me would probably be Kennedy, John F. Kennedy. You know, hours before signing the embargo, he ordered, you know, a case of his favorites. You know, so you know, he definitely knew his way around a cigar. And again, I also think he'd be a good dinner guest. You know, certainly these are 2 guys so far who enjoy a good drink, and you know, I might be able to stay up late with them. So that's something I look for in a dinner companion, is the ability to stay up till, you know, 3 or 4 in the morning and you drink port and you know, do all that stuff. And then I guess I've still got 3 more. This is getting tricky. Man, and there's so many great cigar smokers. There's so many great people that, you know, aren't advertised as such. And then, you know, you get reading, and, you know, it turns out they love a cigar. Yeah, man, this is really tough. Yeah, I've got to say, and maybe he can kind of moderate the whole thing. Well, no, actually, I'm thinking of the wrong guy, but Bill Burr, the comedian, loves cigars. I think he would be a funny, you know, he would make that way better. You know, so yeah, get Bill Burr in the mix. You know, Babe Ruth enjoyed a cigar, and I know he liked to eat and drink, so that would be a good one. And then, you know, for a 5th, gosh, that is, again, it is just so hard to finally name one. He was an occasional cigar smoker, but I learned recently that I was under the impression that Ernest Hemingway didn't smoke cigars. And somebody I'm actually doing a little custom merch deal, a guy named Brian Robinson of C. Woodcock and Co. He's a sort of Hemingway expert, and he went, no, au contraire, and sent me a picture of Ernest Hemingway enjoying a cigar. So I think that might be my fifth. Would be Ernest Hemingway.
Cool.
Yeah, I don't know if he's as funny as the others, but I think he'd kind of round it out, and I don't know how that would go, but yeah, I think it'd be fun.
Yeah, something, you picked up some great ones, and I did a little bit of a blog on Winston Churchill. I've followed Winston Churchill for years. We've been in England anyway, and he was a very interesting person, especially with the cigars that he smoked, and the stories, of course, of when he was in Cuba and came back, he smoked cigars. Then even when the Blitz were going on and the war was going on, the different importers in Havana were still sending him cigars over. And his house that he had was full of cigars, limited edition cigars, you name it. But he always got his cigars that he wanted. You look at Kennedy and smoking cigars. Me and Grumpy and the rest of the guys were talking, and one of his boxes came up on, of course, the American show Porn Stars, and got sold. And it was his humidor with cigars in it. Don't get me wrong, you couldn't have smoked them, because they were trashed. It was such a shame to see. I was crying when I saw the cigars sitting in it. But you picked out some great guests, and it's like when we've sat and we've talked about it. I picked out Ozzy Osbourne because Ozzy Osbourne was a cigar smoker. Sit with Ozzy Osbourne and imagine that kind of show if he was still into the drink and everything, and having a drink with him and talking, and his backgrounds. He's from the Midlands, like myself, half an hour away. He grew up. And just having that conversation. Arnold Schwarzenegger, of course, Jack Nicholson. Then you look at, of course, the sisters of the Leaf, like Sharon Stone, and different sisters like J-Lo, Rihanna, and them that enjoy cigars. You could have a list of 20 to 30 plus people. Five's always hard. It is, and I like asking that one because it makes you think about, well, who would I like? Because I don't want this person in case they drink too much. I don't want this person in case they fall asleep in a corner because they've had too much food. I don't want this person in case they trash the cigar. I don't want this person. And then you go, what do I want? And then you sit there again and you go, 5 people. I wonder.
That's funny. I'm kicking myself
for asking that one.
Yeah, for forgetting Jack Nicholson. Like that might change things. Then that really could be a crazy dinner. That really might get out of hand.
Right.
What do you reckon now, of course, of different celebrities that are coming out and, of course, smoking cigars? Quite recently, I saw The Rock come out. I never knew The Rock smoked cigars, but his favourite, of course, of Aganorsa, and they were on about using The Rock and doing the bicep move and having The Rock's arm on it to try and publicise it a little bit more. But what do you reckon about different wrestlers who smoke cigars and the different celebrities? Do you reckon it's put more now? Look, it is kind of sophisticated when you see these mega superstars doing it. But then look at us regular Joes who enjoy cigars. Do you reckon it's done something for the market, or do you reckon it's just, it's another celeb smoking a cigar? What do you reckon on that one?
I think it's good. I think it's good for the industry. Because it reminds people of a couple things. For one, what better way to celebrate? Like I love Joe Burrow, smoking the celebratory cigar after a big game. That's like, who looks happier than him? And but I also, and it's something I've noticed in cigar shops and cigar bars, a cigar is a great unifier and a great equalizer. So like I was at a cigar bar the other day and somebody commented on, like, man, there is an ex-felon and there's a guy that used to steal cars and a state senator, and we're all in the same, like it was just this crazy mix of people. But every time you walk into a cigar shop, it's kind of like that. And it sort of says you might not be able to fly around in Jay-Z's yacht, but you can still smoke a cigar. It's a little piece of that lifestyle that's completely accessible. And
I think
for an hour,
it's good because you look at it and it's like different people. It brings different people together. Like you just said, of course, someone that used to steal cigars and then a state senator. You look at going into a cigar lounge and you might have Mr. Regular Joe who's a farmer. You might have a mechanic in there. You might have a US senator, a politician or a governor. Then maybe a movie star. A cigar, to me, is a great conversational piece. As you're smoking a cigar, you can have great conversations with like-minded people. It does get into violence where if you're in a nightclub and there's too much drink involved, it can sometimes lead into violence. And in a cigar lounge, I've never known fights to kick off in a cigar lounge. I've always known it be a nice thing. You get together, you can have a cigar, see what everyone else is smoking. If they're smoking a Chillin Moose, you can ask them about that. If you're smoking something different, they can ask you about that and what you think of it. And it's great. And like I say, sitting here tonight and talking to yourself, we do really appreciate the time that you're here. And thank you again for coming, Joe, and joining us and telling us about Chillin Moose. Because for a guy in the UK, I don't really know much about Chillin Moose because I haven't managed to try it. But what I will do, and these guys will hold it to me, and Matthew can send you a picture. When I'm over in August, I'll smoke a Chillin Moose, and then he can send you a picture to say, the English guy's finally smoking one. And he says, yes, they're a winner. Yes, let's get him in the UK. And I'll even stand there waving the flag and say, get it into the UK. Come on. Let's get it in the UK. Come on.
Do it, and tag us. And hey, where are you gonna be when you're in the States this year?
I'm going to be with Kurt. I'm going to be in the Blue Ridge Mountains. We're all going to be there. Yeah. We're all meeting up, and we've known one another 2 years coming up, and we've had, of course, the podcast coming up to 2 years, and we've never met. We've only known one another through TikTok, Instagram, WhatsApping, and of course we have got another member of the Cigar Loons group, Jesse, which he does apologise for not being here tonight. He's got COVID, so he's trying to get over that at the moment. But just meeting up with the guys and getting to smoke a cigar with them, and finally spending time with them, because this is what we do most Tuesdays. The podcast will, of course, meet up in the Discord and sit, play poker. We'll talk about different cigars, who we might be having on the podcast. And when Matthew turned around and he goes, brother, we've got Chillin Moose coming. I'm like, ooh, now we're talking. That's interesting, because I don't really know much about him. Well done, my brother, for doing it. And Matthew, yet again, after you, brother, for bringing Joe on. But what I'm going to do, Joe, I'm out of questions now, my brother. So you've got what you've got out of me. I hope I'm being hard on you. I'm going to pass it back over to Matthew. Yeah, you survived, my brother. Well done.
Mm-hmm. Always fun to hear your questions, Cass. I guess I have one final question about the bands, because honestly, it's really funny because I guess I never looked that closely at the Chillin Moose 2 band. And this moose has a rabbit's ears in its mouth, and it's pulling it out of a hat. And I just got to know, is there some kind of story to that? I've always noticed the fact that his eye is silver, which is cool. You know, it kind of pops out at you, but never noticed the rabbit before tonight for some reason. Is there a story behind the rabbit?
Well, hey, look, coming out with a cigar this good at that price is a lot like pulling a rabbit out of your hat.
That's what I'd look at it.
Yeah, to be completely honest with you, I don't think there's I don't think there's that. No, although maybe I should go with the first thing. I
like that.
Stick with it.
We can just say that's what it is, right, for now at least, right?
Yeah. But I love it. I love that this brand gives us an opportunity to get funny with it, and kind of have some fun and goof around.
I don't mind selling you an image. I don't mind selling you an image, like the one showing up at the top of the screen of the Chillin Moose with the muscles.
Oh boy!
You guys do that? Is that? I don't think I sent you that. Is that?
I'm always playing around with different images, and I put in one, the Chillin Moose's name, and that's what came up. But like I say, by all means, I can get Matthew to send it if you want to use it. I don't need no name put to it. You can have it. I just created it for tonight. You're more than welcome to it.
That moose is ripped.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, he is ripped. And he's enjoying his cigar. He's chilling. He's a Chillin Moose, of course.
That's Gaz. He's our creative brain here.
That's great.
But yeah, man, thank you so much for coming on here tonight and talking to us for now an hour and 20 minutes. So, I really appreciate your time and the effort you've put into, coming on here with us. I really enjoyed that cigar. I smoked it down to the smallest nub I could get on my cigar pick. So, I mean, for what it costs and, how easy it is for me to get, certainly can't complain, man. So again, thank you for coming on, and I'm just gonna finish up with my little finishing phrase, and don't start none, won't be none. Kurt.
Joe, thanks again, man. We really appreciate having you. And until next time, smoke them if you got them. I look forward to seeing y'all next week.
Absolutely.
Yes.
From me, of course, Joe, thank you again for spending this time with the Cigar Loons tonight, and we really appreciate it, my brother. And by all means, when, of course, the new sizes come out, or if you're bringing out a new design of the Chillin Moose, then, of course, you'll have to come back on, and we'll have to talk about that as well. And by all means, we've absolutely loved having you on tonight, brother, and well done. It's good to see there's some young blood in the company. You're going to be doing great things, my brother. Like I say,
That's right.
But for me, stay smoky, grumpy.
I do appreciate you being here, man. And like I said, once again, you seem to be well grounded for a gentleman that age. Don't get me wrong. Nothing negative about that, but it's always good when you see the younger generations, trying to take root in something, especially, as big as the cigar industry. I mean, you got to be focused. You got to be committed, to what you're doing. You got a lot of learning to do, no matter who you are, not just saying you, but, coming in at that age, you've got there's a learning curve. You got to get in there and figure out what's going on with it. You seem to be doing very well with that. I wish you all the success in the world. Where was I going? I drove in the ditch.
That's because you didn't let Jesus take the wheel, brother.
I didn't, not in time anyway. But hey, if you want to come back, man, let us know. I think we can probably arrange that. But until then,
Absolutely.
let me just say that I love you guys. Jesus loves you guys. But if he ain't driving the bus, pull it over and let him take the wheel, because he drives better than we do. I'll catch you on the next one.
Yeah, and of course, we'll be live next week at 7 p.m. Eastern, 6 p.m. Central, 4 p.m. Pacific, and 12 a.m. in England, of course, and we will be live next week. And it's going to be the Cigar Loons sitting down, and who knows what rabbit hole we're going to go down with Grumpy. Jeez, we can be talking about anything. So come and watch us. It's going to be a great show. But Joe, yet again, my brother, thank you for joining us tonight. It's been an absolute pleasure.
Thank you guys for having me. Again. Yeah, thanks for letting me come on. It's been a ton of fun. I've really enjoyed getting to talk to you guys.
Cool. So I'm going to, of course, play out. I'm going to play out, of course, the intro with our #1 award-winning song, as I always say. But that's just me. I'm in my own little world, but hey ho, I enjoy it. Catch you next week. See you later.
Cigar Loons Podcast. We are the invaders of the cigar world. Cigar Kurt, the front porch cowboy, and the ginger grizzly bear with the super palate. Cigar Loons, invaders of the cigar world. Grumpy preacher, the conspiracy theory expert. Cigar Loons Podcast, come and join us. Vitola and proof expert on all things spirits. Tobacco G-Sticks Director of Special Operations. Cigar Loons Podcast, we are the invaders of the cigar world. Cigar Kurt, the front porch cowboy, as the ginger grizzly bear with the super palate. Cigar Loons, invaders of the cigar world. Creature, there comes spirit.